What's up, YouTube? It's the Old Soldier coming at you on this Monday morning from Robinson County, North Carolina. Ready to head down the road to go to work. Anyway. What am I going to talk about this morning? I'm going to talk about voting. Why? Because that's what I want to talk about. Specifically, voting in person versus a mail-in ballot. I've seen some comments, people that live in states that say their states do nothing but mail-in ballots. I don't know which ones. Never heard of a state, an entire state doing nothing but mail-in ballots. I am also of a firm belief that going strictly to a mail-in ballot type deal for an election opens the door to too much of a chance of extreme fraud. Okay. Case in example, a neighbor down the road of mine just brought me some mail that's been sitting at his house since before the fire at my house. Why he held it for so long, I don't know. Even though everything was clearly marked with our address, our name. Now, did this neighbor steal my mail, or was it wrongfully delivered to his address? I'm going to go with the latter, that it was wrongfully delivered to his address. Because that's happened before at other addresses I've lived at. Why? Sometimes postal workers get in a rush. Sometimes mail sticks together when it is sorted. There's any number of things that could be, potentially could go wrong with this. My other argument, one that many of y'all have used, and I've seen others use, and I agree with it wholeheartedly. If you can take your butt to the grocery store and shop, or Wally World and shop, you can go to the polls and vote in person. I'll say that again. If you can go to the grocery store and shop, if you can go to Wally World and shop, you can go to the polls and vote in person. See, this is where the liberal left's logic gets skewed fast and in a hurry, and it proves that they're liars and cheaters. Well, there's too much chance that the coronavirus can spread while at the election polls. The poll workers are going to be at greater risk than everybody else. Oh, the horror of it all. Give me a break. You got these cashiers coming to work every day, handling money and credit cards and interacting with customers all darn day long. Now, some of them have gotten sick. There's been reports of certain cashiers, things like that. But nothing on the magnitude that everybody that goes to work as a cashier or work at a store is dying. And they're out there every day, and they're exposed to thousands upon thousands of people in a given week. That's why that's why I disagree with some of these teacher unions. Well, we're putting teachers at greater risk by having them go in front of these kids for 8 hours a day in a classroom. Give me a break. They're at no greater risk than these workers at these stores where you're getting your goods and services from. This is why we need to go vote in person, people. Because if we don't, the left will steal the election. That is part of their game plan. And they don't care about lying and being a bunch of hypocrites when it comes to this. That doesn't faze them one bit at all. They don't care. I'll give you this little bit of information, more of an opinion. Joe Biden's a reckless idiot, and everybody knows that. I mean, he makes Dan Quayle look like an intelligent individual. Sorry for any Dan Quayle supporters out there, but I'm just calling it the way I see it. Dan had a tendency to stick his foot in his mouth every time he spoke. My personal opinion is Joe Biden is suffering from some type of mental deficiency, whether it's dementia, early onset Alzheimer's, something. So, they select Kamala Harris as his running mate. Okay? I want you to stop and think about that for a minute, folks. Another known liar, cheat, hypocrite, that is bent on doing nothing but gaining power and staying on top. The point I'm getting at is, and this is a theory that is being thrown around, I'm not the only one that's come up with it, that if Joe Biden wins the election, shortly after his inauguration, he'll either be deemed unfit or he'll be dead. One of the two will happen if he wins the election. And then Kamala Harris will become president, and she'll finish what Barack Obama's administration didn't, and that's to ruin this nation and turn it into a communist state. But a communist state much like Cuba, where the political elite live high on the hog, and where the hard-working individuals that once owned businesses will either be forced to go out of business or forced to give away everything they've worked for. So I guess I'm talking about more than one thing this morning, but I want to back up here for a minute. That's part of how the communists took over many countries around the world when they started to get to the height of their power, and we're seeing this resurgence. They lie, they steal, they deceive, they put out false propaganda and narratives. Okay? They will demonize their opponents to the point that the opponent cannot even get a word out in defense. All right? They would rather tell a bold-faced lie and make it the truth than to tell you the truth. Why? Because the truth does not fit their narrative. The truth hurts them. And we're already starting to see outright civil unrest. We're starting to see law enforcement physically attacked. Okay? Physically attacked. Just this weekend, 2 LA County Sheriff's deputies ambushed in critical condition. Then protesters showed up at the hospital they were taken to, chanting, "Hope they die," blocking the entrance. All a part of the communist playbook. Don't believe me? Go back and look at the history of Vietnam. What's Vietnam got to do with old soldier? Case example. The communist insurgents that came down from the north and set up camp in the south started back in the late 40s. Once Vietnam was divided between North and South, when France couldn't win it back, they capitulated. Vietnam was divided into two groups, North and South. These communist insurgents in the South would go through the villages and the towns, and they would gather up the teachers, the political leaders, anybody with any sense of intellect, intelligence, or education. They would gather them up and they would kill them. And then they would subjugate those towns, those villages, by fear. And they would come in the night and kidnap people, only to be found later dead. Oh, my friends, this has happened before. The same thing happened in South Korea during the Korean War. You go and look at any communist country, a lot of times that is what has happened. That is why we must vote in person. If you value what you hold dear, if you value your freedom, if you value your liberty, if you value this nation for what it was actually found on, go and vote in person. God bless each and every one of you. Be safe out there. Watch your back. Watch your friends' backs. Until tomorrow, Soul Soldier out.